if folks just want to put in the chat what year they are in high school for now, that'd be great just to give us an idea. I'm going to share my screen though, just to make sure we get that up and working. Let's see. Can everybody see my screen okay yet or no?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay. There we go. How about now?
There we go.
Perfect. Awesome. I see Quinn, class of 2027. Awesome. Feel free to put those in the chat just so we get an idea of where folks are. And that way we kind of know where you're at in the high school process. Before I get started, though, I'll just make a quick introduction and then I'll let our alumni and students introduce themselves. So my name is Mitchell Smith. I serve as assistant teaching professor and internship coordinator with the Penn State PGA Golf Management Program. I've been in the role for close to 4 years now. It's been an amazing ride and an amazing opportunity. I'm actually a graduate of Clemson's PGA Golf Management Program back in 2013. Worked in the industry for several years and then had the great opportunity to come back into PGM and to help students with regard to finding their careers in golf. So it's been a humbling and incredible opportunity. And yeah, I look forward to sharing more tonight. So do the alumni want to start off with a quick introduction and then maybe we'll have the students go next?
Go ahead, Beatrice.
Hi, everyone. My name is Beatrice Smith. I graduated in the class of 2016, and I am the head golf professional at Monroe Golf Club in Rochester, New York. But I was in the Philly section for a very long period of time at Golf Mills Golf Club. I'm a big Penn State PGM fan, obviously, being an alumni, and this program has given me so much and has led me to really, really great opportunities. So I can't speak highly enough for the experience. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, hello, everyone. Michael Shank. You can tell my wife Heather uses Google Meet a lot more than I do. Pardon the caption. Starting my 9th season as director of golf at Wilmington Country Club. I'm a 2000 graduate of the program. Spent some time in DC, Jupiter, Florida, New York before coming back to Wilmington, but originally from the Lehigh Valley, PA, and very proud PGMer as well. It's been such a gift to have been a part of the program.
Awesome. Students, if you want to go next, feel free. Also, if you hear running in the background, we just got a new puppy. So if you hear some running and some chaos and commotion, everything's okay. But just in case you hear a puppy running around, that's what it is.
I'll go first here. Hi, everyone. My name is Nate Jones. I'm a sophomore in the program here. I'm happy to serve as the president of our student society. I'm from outside of Philadelphia, specifically Wayne, PA. So grew up playing in Philly Junior, so was all in your shoes once. This program has been great to me, so really excited to be here and share more with you tonight.
I can go. My name is Reagan Hubbard. I'm currently a second year in the program, and I'm so grateful to serve as the vice president on our executive board. And this program has honestly done so much for me, and I can't wait to share it all with you.
I can go next. My name is Dylan Jopp. I'm a current junior in the program. I was lucky enough to serve as treasurer on the past e-board, and current e-board I served as Thon director. And I think we'll get to a little bit portion in the presentation to talk about Thon.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Jared Foltz. I'm from Reading, PA. I'm a current fourth-year student in the PGM program. Looking forward to talking to you guys tonight.
Awesome. And I'm going to embarrass Jared a little bit. He just accepted a position with Philadelphia Cricket Club. So not too far down the road from a lot of folks. And we're very excited for him as he launches his career. So, all right. So we'll go ahead and dive in. Feel free to share questions in the chat. I may not see them right away. So if I don't see them and respond right away, know that we will get to them at the very end. I expect the presentations are to last roughly 45 minutes-ish to an hour, and then we'll have plenty of time for Q&A after that for folks that are interested. So the quick overview of the PGA Golf Management Program is that you'll receive your bachelor's degree at Penn State in Recreation, Parks, and Tourism Management. You may also choose to do a SMEAL College of Business certificate, which a lot of our students do decide to go down that pathway. And then you earn Class A PGA professional status as well. So it's kind of that best of both worlds in that you're achieving your PGA membership, you're getting that trade degree, so to speak, but you're also getting your typical bachelor's degree that you would get as part of going to any college or university. As part of the PGA Golf Management Program, our students complete a total of 16 months of full-time paid internships. This is a really exciting part of the program. Our students are going to some pretty incredible places, which I'll pull up here in a little bit. And we're extremely excited about this last number at the end, which is 100% job placement. So, and not just 100% job placement, but job placement in really good positions that students really end up doing well in the program and can go a lot of different routes with regard to what that career choice might be someday. So I kind of hit on this a little bit with regard to the internship. So students will complete a total of 5 internships over 16 months prior to graduation. And all the internships are actually built in as part of the curriculum. So I'm going to go back to that slide before that just to show where our students are going. But just to relay how it kind of all looks on paper, you'll see that your son or daughter will be enrolled in classes during a few semesters during falls and springs. And then where you see these internship courses, that's where your son or daughter will be completing their internship. So after that first year, they'll do a 3-month internship over the summer. Second year will be a 3-month internship over the summer. Junior year is a longer one, so that's the 7-month internship opportunity, kind of that go big opportunity, so to speak. So a lot of students will actually do that 7-month internship, and then they'll turn into a full-time job for that last summer. But we'll have other students that will want to maybe go abroad or do something even crazier that they wouldn't otherwise get to do. So, and just to show everybody where our students are going, try to pull up our map. And let me see if I need to reshare my screen. Apologize, I know this is a little clunky, but just to show everybody where students are going this year, really a wide range across the US. If I even expand the map out more, we have a few students that are going to China. In years past, we've actually had students go to the UK. So that's been a pretty prominent spot. But just in your region in Philadelphia, pretty wide range of opportunities. And as you can see, a lot of our students from the Philly area end up going back home. And we even have some students not from the Philly area going that direction just because there's so many great facilities in this region. So I know Michael's been a great partner of ours for a while when it comes to interns. But we're really fortunate with the network that we have and all of the opportunities that are out there as it relates to different internship spots. So go back to our presentation. Along with that, our students also have the option to do the 1-year SMEAL master's degree if they choose. We have a couple students that are going down this pathway. We had one that graduated a few years ago that is doing really well in the industry. We have another one, female student that's actually going back to Marion for her last internship and is going to go down this pathway as well. So there is that additional opportunity to further enhance your education if that's something that you would like to pursue. And here's some of our students in action, just so you can see. And we'll get to a point here where I'll have our students and alumni share their insights. But this is actually one of our students, Connery, when he was at a teaching academy in Boston, Core Academy. This is David Banks with the Titleist tent back when he did his internship at Titleist for a ball fitting internship. That's Valentina from when she was at Hyannisport up in Massachusetts. Cade Cosgrove at the bottom. That's when he was at Tennessee at the honors course. So pretty wide range of opportunities out there, and no shortage of options for our students to choose from. So we'll go to our students first, and maybe we'll just have 2 students to start, since I know we have 4 on. What has been the favorite part of your internship experiences you've been on, and what are you most looking forward to this upcoming summer?
I can share. So my favorite part of like the internship experiences I've been on is definitely just all the opportunities that you get to like learn during these experiences. And also just all the different people you meet. You meet so many different cool like people that just really like make the experience what it is. I had the privilege of going to Woodmont Country Club last summer in Rockville, Maryland, and I got to work the U.S. Adaptive Open, which was truly a very inspiring experience. And I think what I'm looking forward to most this summer is also just learning more about like the merchandising aspect. I'll be at Somerset Hills, so I'm very excited, and just all the opportunities that I'll be able to try.
Awesome. Jared, you want to go next?
Yeah, I think the people that you meet at the internships is awesome. Whether it's members, co-workers, interns that you're working with, it's just really cool the connections that you make. Like the connections that I've made with interns at cricket the last 2 years has been awesome. I still talk to those guys weekly. We stay updated with each other, like with where we're at in our careers. One of my friends, he graduated from LSU 2 years ago, and he's just doing the associates program now. He's in level 2, and he just had a hole-in-one at a seminar a couple weeks ago. Like, it's pretty cool to stay updated with these people. And what I'm most looking forward to, probably just getting better with teaching. So I'm doing a teaching internship at Philly Cricket. Whether I land a full-time position there for long-term, or if I land somewhere else, just like getting better with instruction going forward.
Awesome. Very nice. So now on a question for our alumni, Michael and Beatrice. So how did the PSU PGA Golf Management help each of you achieve your goals? And how much do you continue to stay in touch with your cohort and alumni that have completed the program at this point?
After you, Beatrice.
I would say, I mean, Penn State did an incredible job helping me get to where I am today. There are not a lot of people who are coming out of high school knowing exactly what they want to do with their life. And I knew really at like 14, 15 that I wanted to be a head golf pro. And Penn State has really helped me with that journey. They gave me all the tools that I needed to be successful in the business. And actually, my final internship outside of Penn State was at Gulf Mills, and ultimately Gulf Mills got me my head pro job. So it was my experience there that really trained me and prepped me for my role here now at Monroe. And then staying in touch with my cohort, it's, there's a reason we have the largest alumni network. We're incredibly close knit. Michael and I are in the same section, so we see each other at section events, and we ran into each other at the show. And I got my job. One of my Penn State classmates, one of my PGM classmates, his dad was the president of Monroe. And when I called him saying, hey, I'm interested in applying for this job, he called his dad and was like, you need to chat with my friend. She's really interested in this. And so being able to call somebody up that I went to college with and say, hey, I'm interested in, learning more about this club. Can you help me? And they were, more than willing to help. It really is a very tight-knit group. And I can't really overstate enough how important these relationships you make in college are. And, PGM is all to thank for that. And I looked at a couple different PGM schools, and Penn State blew me away. So I can't speak highly enough about the experience.
Yeah, well, I'm so impressed, Beatrice, that you knew you wanted to be a head pro when you were 14. I had no idea when I was 14 what I was going to be doing. I thought maybe science. So I think really to the question, I think the PGM program helped me understand what my career goals were. One of the really beneficial parts of the program is the opportunity to do those internships and to explore the type of facility that you want to be at. And really through that process, I started to understand the business and what it really was and how I wanted to be involved with it. And so that was such a huge benefit to me, so that by the time I graduated, I had a direction, I knew what I was chasing. And then in terms of the network, I think just to echo Beatrice here, I mean, it's you know, some of my best friends are still my classmates from 25 years ago. And that's pretty special. And then, you know, creating the relationship with the newer alumni. I mean, we have the privilege of hiring 4 PGMers every year or for internships. And, you know, this year we've got 3 Penn Staters coming to Wilmington. It's always my first call is to Mitchell. So that network is really unbeatable.
Absolutely. And we've been very thankful for the relationship, and I'm sure Beatrice will be sending some students your way as well. So we're really excited for you and your position too. So getting to our alumni network, that's something that as a whole we're very proud of. So Penn State PGM just eclipsed the 700 alumni mark. So we were very excited about that. All of our students are paired with an alumni mentor. So that's somebody who right off the bat, when you first get into the program, is going to be that mentor for you in the field that can provide assistance and guidance as soon as you show up. Along with that alumni mentor, students are also paired with a senior that serves as a mentor as well. So there's a lot of connections already there, and a lot's already built in to make sure to set up your son or daughter for success once they're in the program. Some of our alumni in prominent positions include head golf professional at Augusta National, which we certainly take advantage of and have a very good relationship with them. The new director of golf at Marion, obviously not too far from everybody's neck of the woods in the Philly section. Shinnecock, Noyak's another one. Non-green grass facilities, Summit Golf Brands, careers with the PGA of America. So really an ample supply of opportunities that are out there, and a lot of different options that you can choose through going through this program and ultimately finding that career path you want to take. So now a question for our students and alumni again. Maybe we'll have 2 different students this time share how you've stayed in touch with your alumni mentor. And then for the alumni, how often have you connected with your student mentee, and maybe some success stories that you can share either of interns or folks that have worked under you that are now in prominent positions that they are in the industry.
I can share. So I have had, let's see, I'm on my second alumni mentor because I'm a upperclassman now. But when I got my first alumni mentor, he was super helpful. Chad Halvonic, actually head pro of Look Away Golf Club. He was super helpful in just looking over my resume, looking over cover letter, really just like any questions I had for him. And he always just shoots me a text still. To this day, every once in a while, I'll see how I'm doing. And then my new mentor is Matt Walbert out at Union League. Again, he just offers any type of help, just want to chat about golf, about life, about football. He chats about whatever. So having 2 people that in my back pocket that are alumni of this program that can always help me is a huge advantage.
I can go as well. For me, I've personally had a great experience so far with the mentorship. I learned about the program through a mentor at the club I grew up working at, St. David's Golf Club. As Mitchell said, when I came onto campus, I was assigned a mentor. He was actually in New Zealand at Cape Kidnappers. So even with that time zone difference, we would chat regularly and, always be able to help me out with my interviews or resumes, especially as a freshman. And then this past summer, I was able to work with Beatrice and another Penn State alum. So it's really been awesome to just have that network grow so quickly and have so many people that are willing to help you out.
Awesome. alumni, I'll let you go next, and then also let Joe Dowdy join in as well, and maybe have Joe share a quick intro about himself too, just because he also provides a very unique career perspective on different career paths you can take in the industry.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Thanks, Mitchell. So my name is Joe Dowdy. I'm the PGA career consultant for New Jersey and Philadelphia sections. As Mitchell said, my role is unique. Not many associations or industries have someone that when you join the association or someone dedicated to you. There's 26 of me across the country that our role is to help with professional development and career enhancement for all of our associates, students, and members. So my role is to go out and visit, majority of our members and employers throughout the section and get to know them and help them with anything from career development, resume review, job opportunities, contract negotiations, compensation review, anything they're trying to achieve, attract and retain staff. And I get to see the students' faces a couple of times a year at career fairs and industry awareness, and makes me feel young. I'm a 2016 graduate of Penn State with Beatrice. And congrats on her new role. She probably don't know if she admitted that, but she got a nice new opportunity this year. And part of that was through our executive search program, where we do search with employers to help find PGA professionals for them. Yeah, I mean, I have 2 or 3 mentees I still talk to pretty regularly, and some mentors I still see and get to see around it. And it's special. The relationships don't go away. They don't just say they're going to help out. You see them in the field, you see them around, they invite you to play golf, and it's more than just, saying they're going to do it. They actually do it. It's a unique part of the industry. They actually care about your success and endeavors. And like anything in life, the more you want out of it, the more they'll give. And I recommend that for all of this. And the few students on the call here, they're putting in some extra time even this evening and through executive board and past time, and it helps them in their career path, and it sticks out when employers like Heather and Beatrice there, just kidding, Michael, look for people when they're hiring. So and Mitchell will say the same thing.
Yeah, I'll just add on to that, Joe, that I think, to me, one of the really neat things about the PGM program is that it keeps getting better. And so, when I attended, there was no official mentor program. It's been a tremendous addition. And I've had the opportunity now to connect with a number of, mentees over the last number of years, and had a really terrific experience this year with a sophomore and who really wasn't certain where they wanted to go. So we had a number of conversations. I was able to introduce him to a couple of golf professionals in the region he wanted to go to, and I think he got a really nice spot for next year. So it was definitely a success story this year, and it's another great way that the program supports its students.
Absolutely. I think, you're going to have mentors along the way, whether they're your alumni mentor or your senior you're paired up with, but having those relationships and having somebody to bounce ideas off of was really important. And I was really lucky. I had a great alumni mentor who worked at Augusta, and he helped me through a lot of different things when I was a student, working on my resume and how to make myself more marketable. And there's still things that I did to this day when applying for the job I'm in currently. And I had him in the back of my mind thinking, oh God, what did he tell me to do, 10 years ago? And so I try to do the same with the students that I mentor. Whether it's navigating, do I want to be in the private sector versus going to work for, a tournament operation? Or is it something where, I really want to be in this area, but there's a cool opportunity here and I'm just not sure what's right for me. It's important to, have that line of communication and have somebody who may have other connections that can help you, connect with other people. So I can't speak highly enough of the whole experience, but I'm really fortunate between working with my alumni mentee and then, Nate Jones, who's now the president of the Student Society. He worked at Gulf Mills this season, and it's been so fun watching him, kind of blossom into this great leader for Penn State PGM. And it's been fun, helping with his development. And I would say he's one of my success stories, even though I was not his alumni mentor.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, absolutely. And thanks again for everything you've done and helping our students. And I know Nate got a lot out of that experience as well. I don't want to speak too much for him, but yeah, I'm very excited for his next role at Canoe Brook and to see where his career continues to go. So now we're going to pop over to another question. This is to our students. So I'll provide a little background before we get to the question. So one of the unique parts of our program is that our students actually get to work during the masters in a variety of different roles when it comes to working in retail. We even have a couple students that end up working on the driving range. So we always get excited when they show the coverage of the driving range and we see our students back there providing range balls at times. But it's certainly one of the most rewarding experiences our students do. And I would say something very unique to Penn State PGM based off our connections that we have with Augusta National. So Dylan, I know you worked at the Masters, so maybe I'll have you take this one. And then if there are any other students that did Masters, we'll have you jump in. So what was it like to work that week? And what would you say your biggest takeaway from that experience was?
So I think the biggest thing that comes to mind is hard. It's a very hard week. It's about last week, I think I did like 103 hours over 7 days. So it's very busy, very long days. But the things you learn there are really, really cool. I think I worked in, I know I worked in South Village. And I think the amount of things that I was able to cover, I mean, there's people coming in and out all the time, asking you questions, things to restock, all happening at the same time. So really teaches you to make decisions in pressure situations, and also sort of works on your people skills as well, because the patrons are asking questions and you have to tell them where things are. So I guess if I have to sort of give my biggest takeaway from the whole experience, it's that you have to always be able to adapt to any type of situation, whether that's in the store or out on the golf course or sort of anywhere. I would say that's pretty applicable in the industry.
Awesome. And I see that Augusta National flag in the background as well. So love it. Were there any other students that did the Augusta experience? Are you going back this year, Dylan?
Yes. Yep. I'm returning. I have a new role this year in Berkman's. So excited for that.
Awesome. Congratulations. So now we'll look at our Golf Teaching and Research Center. So this is a center that we're very proud of for a lot of different reasons. One being is that we do a lot of research in the teaching and coaching space. So anybody that is really interested in teaching and coaching is really learning from the best. So we're very fortunate to have our Golf Teaching Research Center led by Eric Hanley. So this is Eric right here. He was just voted among Golf Digest best instructors in state. And then Dan Merrill right here was actually just voted by Golf Digest one of the best young teachers in America. He actually serves as director of instruction as well at Noyak, out in the Hamptons in the summertime. We're very fortunate to have him during the semesters. And I think one of the biggest things about this program that I really want to be a takeaway is I know everybody on here plays competitive golf with the Philly PGA. And, you know, it's been a big part of their high school career. And part of this program is playing a lot of golf too. So as much as we are preparing you for a career in the industry, we want you playing a lot. So that's a big part of our program. And that's a part that we're really excited about as well. So just some highlights from our Golf Teaching Research Center. Back in 2025, Victor Hovland actually came to us. He wanted to get some data on his swing. He wanted to see how his swing has changed since, I think it was 2019 when he said that's when he was swinging the best. Currently, we have 3 hitting bays, but are looking to expand. We have TrackMan in every single bay. Along with that, we have 1 bay with Qualisys, so we can do 3D motion capture. And for students, some of the neat things we have are club fitting and also alteration. So we always tell high school seniors that are about to come into the program, I know graduation present sometimes is clubs, but we always say hold off. Don't get your clubs till you come to Penn State, just because we get a lot of great deals with several of the top manufacturers. Our Handley Winter Tournament Series is a blast. I'll go over that now with regard to just our competitive spirit in playing golf. So when it's warm out and there's not as much snow on the ground, we're pretty much playing a tournament weekly. Right now, we're in the midst of our Winter Tournament Series, actually playoffs, where each of our faculty members have a team of 12 students, and we compete on a weekly basis with regard to actually trying to keep our games up, as well as also having a competitive, fun atmosphere. We also have weekly lessons. So Dan mostly leads those, but he's done a really cool project now of actually having our seniors start to teach more lessons as part of the experience, where they're getting guidance from him on what to look for and how to improve their teaching. So actually, before I go further, Jared, do you want to talk a little bit about that, since I know you're now a student teacher under Dan, and what that's been like for you with regard to improving your teaching skills?
Yeah, it's been awesome. Like it was really neat teaching lessons at Philly Cricket this past summer. Learned a lot. Like you get a lot of information from shadowing lessons. I learned even more from doing it. But I think doing this, I learned even more because Dan was there almost as a crutch. Like I'm young, I still have a lot to learn with teaching. And if I was doing something really well with a student, Dan would leave me alone. If there was something that needed to be expanded on, or if I didn't have the right cue to give a student, Dan would step in and be like, hey, maybe let's try this. And you know what? Learning those cues, learning these different like methods of how to fix an early extension, stuff like that, I'm going to be able to add to my arsenal going forward. So it's benefit of the student getting better, getting lessons, and also the instructor, me, getting better as an instructor.
Absolutely. So it's been a really neat program that he started this year. And I think our students have really enjoyed it as well. So just to show everybody what's coming through the pipeline. So right now, our Golf Teaching Research Center, it ends right here. So we have 3 bays currently, and we're proposing adding 3 more bays and a putt view putting area right here, along with more club storage. So something that will likely be in fruition once your son or daughter ends up coming to Penn State. But we're really, really excited about our expansion. We definitely need the space with regard to the number of students we have. But it's definitely a space that gets utilized a lot. And it's a great spot because it's right on campus. So a lot of times students will go down to the Golf Teaching Research Center in between classes, play 9 holes with their friends, and then end up going to their next class that they might have that day. So along with that, we also have outdoor player development. So this is done on a weekly basis. So we'll have spring break coming up, which I'm going to share more about what we're doing next week, which we're all very excited about. But as part of player development, again, we're continuing to work on your son or daughter's game. When we get outside, it's a little less technical because we really want to focus on your scoring at that point, versus when we're inside, it's a little bit more technical and a little bit more of trying to help you make that change that maybe you weren't as comfortable making when you are in a playing environment. So as far as our competitive opportunities go, students play on a regular basis in tournaments. So you're obviously all playing Philly PGA events now. That's not going to change once you get in our program. Our top 5 students get to play at the University Championship. So this is an event where our top 5 students play against the other professional golf management program's top 5 students. So certainly something that a lot of our better students try to qualify for. Our Mason-Dixon Line Championship is between us and Maryland Eastern Shore. Our top 8 players get to play in that in a Ryder Cup style event. And then a recent event that we just started in the last 2 years was the Lake Erie Classic. So the past 2 years, it's been hosted at Inverness and Canterbury, which are 2 top 100 facilities. Really fortunate to be able to have those connections to be able to do that. But as you can see, a lot of competitive playing opportunities and a lot of competitive golf. I would say our winning scores at our tournaments are usually under par. So they do get very competitive, and they definitely bring out that fun spirit with regard to playing on a regular basis. So right now we have our winter tournament series going on. So this is not an exaggeration with what it looks like. So you'll have roughly 10 to 12 students watching you play in winter tournament series. And it's a lot of fun because these students are either cheering for him to do well or cheering for him in another way because they're on another team. But it's all in good spirit, and it's all part of what make our program really special. So I'll be sad to see when that comes to a conclusion here, I believe at the end of this week. So coming up in the near future. So now some student and alumni insights. So we'll have 2 students go here as well. How often do you utilize the GTRC, and how often are you playing golf as part of the program? And then for our alumni, what are some of the best places you've gotten to play, and how important would you say is playing as part of your career in the industry?
Can go with playing. I mean, with using the GTRC, it's a little bit different from the fall compared to the spring semester. In the fall, it's pretty much free for all. You go down in between classes, try to hit some golf balls, get some practice in. In the spring, we have 30-minute time slots that you can sign up for to get some practice in, whether it's a lesson time slot or just time slot to practice your swing, make sure it's in shape. I have 2 practice slots during the week, and I try to get the most out of it, making sure things are in shape, like my path and whatnot. And then how often I'm playing with the program, I'm playing 2-3 times during the week. I take the tournaments pretty serious. I love playing in those, and any opportunity I get to play in the weekend tournament, as long as I don't have something else going on, I'm playing in them.
Awesome. Nate Jones, do you want to share more with regard to the GTRC?
Yeah, so Jared hit on the main points there. The fall, the GTRC is still busy. It's not as structured with the timing, but most times of the day, if you go down there, you're going to find a group of people to play some holes with. We love to be outside. We have the Penn State golf courses on campus, which you get a membership at. 2 golf courses there, a driving range, 3 putting greens. So really some great opportunities to play. Transportation to the golf courses is pretty easy, even as a freshman. There's some bus loops that take you to the golf course, and the pro shop will also have a taxi service with some golf carts. So golf is definitely a big part of it. Like Jared said, the tournaments are a big thing. They get very competitive, and there's some good players. So there's no shortage of competition, even if you come here. So it's going to be pretty similar to the Philly Juniors, like you've seen. So yeah.
Awesome. I always get jealous for the second part of this question, hearing some of the best places our alumni have gotten to play, and also hearing too how important playing is with regard to your career in the industry.
I'll go ahead. And Mitchell, I like to switch this question. I like to go by best experience on this. I played some great places with some people that I don't love to play with all the time, and I played some not so great places with some people I love playing with. For me, it's always about who you're with, and one of my 2 or 3 best golf experiences that are at your who's who top ranked course out in the country, and I've had 3 of my best buddies out there, and they're memorable days, and I try to do that once a year. So fortunate in the position to be able to call someone like maybe Michael or Beatrice and go play with a few pro friends, or them can join and have a great day. And the weather times up. I'm fortunate in my role. I play in a couple events a year, nothing crazy. For people like Michael and Beatrice, who are department heads, they play with members pretty often, and I'll let them share it. But it's definitely important, in my opinion, where I sit in my seat, the most highly engaging way to be with a member or a guest of the facility.
Yeah, I guess I'll hit on, I'm really fortunate. I'm in a position I get to play very frequently. I play at least once a week with members, and I try to play on my own outside of that. And, I've been incredibly fortunate. I've played quite a few clubs in the top 100. Penn State, which I know they'll hit on this, but you can travel with Penn State. I was on the Bandon Dunes trip, and I went to Scotland with Penn State during spring break. But I would say some of the cooler places, Shinnecock, Pine Valley, Seminole, Marion, and a lot of these were with members, but a lot of them were also through my alumni connections and Penn State connections. So the golf world is very vast, and you will be able to have access to a lot of really great experiences, not just at top 100 clubs, but also just some really, really cool, interesting places that you wouldn't necessarily know about.
Yeah, completely agree with that. And just quickly want to also repeat, what the students were talking about, that research and teaching center. Again, talking earlier about how the program continues to evolve and get better. That is such a benefit. And it's such an amazing thing. And I'm thrilled to see the expansion that's coming. Really, really valuable to be able to hit balls indoors on those technologies. So in terms of where I played, to echo Beatrice and Joe, you get very spoiled when you're in the business. I grew up playing public golf, caddying at a little private club down the street, and have now had the opportunity to play, most or many of the top clubs in America. And these member trips are unbelievable. Ireland, England, New Zealand, going to Cabot St. Lucia next month. I'm going to be in Scotland in August. So if you love to play, it's a great career.
Awesome. So along with that, we also offer our living learning community. This is an option for first-year students where we actually pair you in rooms with regard to living with another first-year student that is also doing the same thing, going through the same program as you. So that is something where we help students feel comfortable with regard to making sure they have that fit right away and making sure they're in a good spot right away. I think we're missing a few slides. One other thing I'll mention as well, I don't know why that slide isn't pulling up, but over spring break, we also do a trip to Scotland and Bandon Dunes. So this actually coming week, so on Friday, we leave for Scotland, and we get to play 5 of the top 100 facilities in the world. So coming up this upcoming week, we're going to get to play at Muirfield, Turnberry, North Berwick, Renaissance, and Prestwick. In years past, we've also gotten to play the old course, and we've gotten to play at Jubilee. So pretty incredible spring break experience with regard to being able to share something new. We also make it educational as well with regard to making a class out of it. So students get to learn about golf course architecture and what made these courses what they are. So pretty amazing opportunity as a whole. As I pull up some photos from spring break, I might have 2 or 3 students who went on spring break in the past, maybe share what their experiences were like, and what you're looking forward to most coming up next week for Scotland if you're coming with us.
I can jump in. Last year I went to Bandon Dunes. I was fortunate enough to go there. We played a ton of really cool courses out there. They have some of the top rated public facilities at that resort. So really, really cool to be able to play there. Had some awesome weather. And then next week, I'm actually going on the Scotland trip, and it's going to be my first time playing golf in Scotland. So really excited to experience that, experience the culture being over there, and really excited in general.
Awesome. Reagan, what are you most looking forward to with regard to Scotland this year?
I'm really excited about like the competitive aspect that we have going on the trip. We get split into 2 different teams with the different advisors that are coming, and we play matches against the other teams, and it's really cool just because we're taking that competitive aspect that we all really enjoy here at Penn State and moving it to some of the best courses that like in the country and over the world now that we're going to Scotland. And I'm also just really excited about exploring the town. We get 2 days off in Edinburgh, so just like exploring and learning all about the different history and the culture over there. So I'm really excited.
Awesome. And you went with us to Bandon Dunes last year, correct?
I did, yeah. That was an amazing experience, and
Awesome.
I'm so grateful to be able to do that.
Absolutely. So we have a lot of fun with that. It's basically you with your 32 best friends getting to experience something brand new. So something truly incredible that we're very excited to offer, and definitely we think makes us stand out. So along with that, we also have our PGM Student Society. So our Student Society is a great place for our students to get involved very quickly. We really say that this program is theirs when it comes to making decisions on behalf of our students as a whole, putting together our tournament program. We'll have Dylan talk about Thon in a little bit with regard to what that was like. We're very fortunate to have our Student Society president, Nate Jones, actually on the call as well. Maybe we'll just have Nate describe what his role is with regard to serving as president, and maybe have Reagan describe what her role is in serving as vice president and how that's been as you both have started your terms as student society members.
Yeah, so I was elected president. We had elections this past December. Before that, I served as our first year class representative. So when you come into the program as a freshman, you can either run for first class representative or secretary. So there is opportunity from the very beginning. But yeah, now as president, it's been a very good position for me so far. It's a good way to get involved. You work hand in hand with all the advisors like Mitchell and everyone who runs our program. We have monthly calls with our alumni, so I'm able to really have some good interactions with the alumni. But it's really been awesome for me to have some more responsibility and kind of have a say in how this program's run and really try to leave my mark on the program.
Yeah, so I was very fortunate to be elected as vice president for our student society. And with this role also means that I'm our social media chair. So I work alongside KP to run our student society Instagram, which has truly been so much fun because I really enjoy being able to highlight the amazing experiences that Penn State PGM has to offer, and also highlighting our students, their amazing accomplishments, and just like really showing like how much you gain from being in the Penn State PGM and just all the cool opportunities and experiences that make our program the best. So I've really enjoyed my time so far and representing our program.
Awesome. Along with that, students are also able to serve on committees as well. So even if you don't necessarily make it on the Student Society board right away, there's always opportunities on committees to be involved and to really leave your mark on the program when it comes to doing something that you're interested in and building your resume as well. So we actually just had Thon 2 weeks ago. So we may have some parents that were Penn State alums that have heard of Thon before, but the gist of it is it's a 46-hour, no sitting, no sleeping dance marathon. And it's truly remarkable when it comes to the funds that are raised and what it means within the Penn State community. So that number is actually not quite up to date, but Penn State PGM and the Penn State Equestrian Group raised $67,000 for pediatric cancer research. So we're very proud of that number and proud of that how students are involved in the community beyond just the golf community. So if you haven't experienced the Thon, it's definitely worth the trip up to State College just to experience it. So we're going to I'm going to let Jared share some insight with regard to dancing in Thon and also congratulate him for making it the entire 46 hours. So quite the accomplishment. So would love to have you share more about Thon and what that experience was like for you. And maybe Dylan, have you share a little bit more with regard to what your experience was like as Thon chair and what Thon means to both of you after having been so involved over the last year before that happened 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so I've been involved with Thon since my freshman year. I was on the Thon executive board for 2 years in college, and I've been a part of a lot of cool things. While I've been in college, I've had a lot of cool experiences, from being tournament director to winning golf tournaments to being on the PGM University Championship team. Those are all really cool experiences. Literally nothing comes close to this. The euphoric feeling that you get after winning a tournament is so awesome. I play for that. It doesn't come close to the feeling that I got at the end of Thon. I really didn't know how awesome it was going to be until I got there. Was a little nervous, but we made it through. Me and Brandon Tapia, we had an absolute blast. Just seeing the support in the crowd from my classmates and whatnot. You're there for such a great cause, and that's really what helps you get through the weekend. You're dancing for a great cause, and it's a really awesome experience.
Yeah, just to kind of add to some of what Jared said, being a part of Thon, I was part of Thon my freshman year, last year, and then was fortunate enough to be able to be Thon director this past year. But similar to what he said, it's kind of tough to put into perspective, sort of how it really feels to be there. I think being there, being part of something bigger than yourself, cheering on our dancers, it's a really, really special weekend. Also, want to give props to Reagan. She did 46 hours in the stands, which is arguably harder than doing it on the floor. So props to her for that as well. But yeah, Thon, it's so special. Really the best weekend of the year at Penn State by far.
Absolutely. And Dylan, you took the words out of my mouth when it came to congratulating Reagan, because that was quite the accomplishment in the stands. So quite the achievement to make it the full 46 hours up there. So along with that, we also do a trip to the PGA Merchandise Show. For those not familiar, the PGA Merchandise Show is the largest trade show in golf. This past January, roughly 30,000 professionals in the golf industry were at the show with regard to sharing the latest and greatest product information. And then myself and Dan Merrill actually lead a class around building your network. So our assignments are built around, for example, having lunch with the CEO of the PGA of America, also connecting with other major influential people within the PGA. So it really is a great opportunity to have that experience. Also go down to Orlando, Florida in January. So nice to obviously escape the cold weather at that point. But another unique perk of our program that we are able to offer the students from the day that they show up. So this is just our top 10 reasons to think about Penn State and think about PGM. Certainly the alumni network is amazing. The fact we have 3 great alums on here with Michael, Beatrice, and Joe just shows how committed they are to supporting our students and continuing to grow the program. Our Golf Teaching Research Center is really second to none. It's really an incredible facility that gives you the latest and greatest when it comes to teaching, seeing what the latest and greatest in research is. We do our best when it comes to coming up with academic plans for our students to provide them with that opportunity to really be successful. I can say I know every student by name within the program. So you're certainly at that larger university, but it's going to feel small once you're here for sure. Certainly our academic ranking, clubs and organizations. We have students that compete and do intramural sports and are involved outside of the PGM program as well. Our school spirit, Thon, having 36 holes where you can play whenever you would like is amazing. And then the friends you make for life for this program are really second to none. So something that I know as Jared's about to graduate, for example, he'll certainly be in touch with his classmates, and I'm sure they'll stay in touch as they continue to grow in the industry. So this is my last slide, and then we'll open things up for Q&A. This is just to everybody, and maybe we do 3 students and all of our alumni. What final advice would you give to students and parents about college and how to make the most of the PGA golf management experience? So I'll kind of open up the floor from there, and then we'll leave some time for Q&A and take it from there.
I can start us off. I think I think Jared and Reagan and Nate would all agree with me that getting involved is easily one of the best things you can do. I know getting involved with PGM, whether that was Thon or with the e-board, definitely just elevated my entire experience. So I would definitely say if you do end up coming to Penn State, and sure hope you do, definitely recommend getting involved.
I'll go next here. I would just say in general, obviously everyone here loves golf, but before you come to college, try to find your why. If you figure out that's working in golf and being in the service industry, then Penn State PGM is perfect for you. But no matter where you go, just find your why and pursue that.
Along with what Dylan said about getting involved, I would also, if you do choose to come to Penn State, go down to the GTRC and just meet as many people as you can. These are going to be the people that are going to get you through just not even the 4 years of college, but be with you like throughout your entire career. And they're definitely amazing people to lean on just for any aspect of life, whether it's college, whether it's other things. But definitely meet as many people as you can, as well as get involved with like executive board, but also the different committees. We have tournament committees, social media, and merchandising, all there to like help you learn about like what you really like to do in the golf industry and maybe some future career paths as well.
I'll just hit on, the college experience. You have so much at a school as big as Penn State. And one of the things I really liked about PGM in particular is it made the school feel a lot smaller. Like Mitchell said, he knows, all of your advisors, your teachers, and it really felt like a fraternity without Greek life. You have a really nice tight-knit community. But I was involved in stuff outside of PGM, and all my PGM friends were very supportive of that too. So it doesn't have to be all encompassing. It's really, really easy to get involved in a couple of different things and, really make that school feel small. I would just say, get to know the people as much as possible. My friends in PGM are some of my best friends. My senior year roommate who is in my cohort at Penn State is still one of my closest friends, and I see him regularly. And it's just really nice having those friendships that you can rely on. And, as I was looking for jobs, I would call Joe Dowdy all the time, who was in my cohort, and he was a great resource for me, but he's also just a great friend to have when it's outside of at work or business world. You really create lasting relationships. And I feel the same way with my advisors. I'm really lucky. And Penn State really has a great network of professors and mentors and alumni, but really the advisors do an incredible job of setting you up for success no matter where that is.
Yeah, I would just say that obviously I'm a little biased, but being pretty familiar with a lot of the PGM programs around the country now, Penn State is certainly the best program without question, due to all the offerings. It's such a joy to be able to do what I do every day for work, and that's completely a result of attending this program, and so I'm very thankful for that. Like Beatrice was saying, I mean, you do make friends outside of the PGM. It's not all encompassing. I took my son to his first Penn State football game this fall and had opportunity to spend time with an old friend who lived down my hall freshman year, all those years ago. So you do make a lot of great connections. It's such a wonderful environment. And then, like both Dylan and Reagan said, really getting involved is going to be your number one way to get the most out of your time there.
I don't have much to add to all that. That was all amazing. Spot on with everyone there. It's as much as you want to make it, everyone's a phone call away or a conversation away, and there's no one that will turn you down for help and advice.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah, so now we'll open up the floor. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for good now. I apologize that I had to jump around a little bit, but would love to just open the floor for Q&A. I think we've got a great representation of alumni and students on the call as well. So would definitely love to answer any questions that folks might have. Feel free to put in the chat, or if Google Meet has a raise hands feature, feel free to do that. I see there's one question in the chat now with regard to admissions, so I will get to that in a minute for sure. Any general questions as a whole from the group? I'll dive in first on this admissions one. And as folks are thinking, if you do have questions, feel free to throw them in the chat as I go through each question. So happy to help out and happy to make sure that we can direct it to the right place. So as far as the admissions question goes, it's a great question. There's a few admissions requirements that you need to look out for. So number one is the handicap requirement. So students need to have a 12 handicap or lower to get into the program. That does need to be signed off by a high school golf coach or a PGA professional. So when a student actually applies, they're going to say that they're applying for PGA golf management. So you are going through Penn State's admissions process, but then there's also that flag with regard to turning in your handicap verification form at the same time. Once you have that, then the application is complete, and then we review it on our side. I don't want to give a specific number to say this is the number ACT or SAT or GPA. I do know Penn State currently is test optional, so you can certainly keep that in mind. I would still recommend probably taking the ACT or SAT, but happy to dive in more on that. But with regard to the application process, you definitely want to make sure that you have both the handicap verification form and your application submitted, because then it does get flagged, and then the admissions office does see that you're applying for PGA golf management. Hopefully I answered that question. Feel free to let me know if I need to go into more detail though. What other classes are involved with PGM courses? Yes, great question. So it really depends on the pathway you're going to take. I might have a couple of students jump in here as well to share what they're doing. Some of our students are getting Smeal College of Business certificates. So if that's a pathway that one of our students are going, then they're probably taking more business classes as their elective classes. For those that are going the general recreation, parks, and tourism management route, a lot of courses are recreation related. So I actually teach a class called Legal Aspects of Recreation, where we look at legal issues in the field. It's not necessarily golf specific, but I do use golf cases in that class, just because I do have a lot of professional golf management students in there. But I know there's other students that do other majors as well, and have a more tailored plan. So are there any students that want to dive in on other classes they maybe took, and maybe what one of your more interesting classes were outside of PGM that you really enjoyed?
I'm currently doing the Smeal Business Certificate, as well as getting my sports journalism certificate through our communications college. So that's really cool to be able to do like both things, and also like be able to connect them to PGM as well. I'm taking like a news writing course right now, which is really interesting, just showing like how to like write for the news and be a journalist and all that stuff. So that's definitely really cool. And then for the business certificate, I've taken accounting. I'm currently in marketing and management right now. So it's all very cool, and it's a very good opportunity also to like different like paths you can take and also be able to do PGM at the same time.
Awesome. Nate, Dylan, Jared, anything else to add to that that I might have missed with regard to other classes you guys have taken that you might want to share more about?
Yeah, I mean, kind of just touch on a couple of things. I personally chose not to do the SMEO business certificate just because I see I want to stick in green grass for my entire career. So didn't see a need for the SMEO certificate, but a lot of my other friends are taking that, and I think that's awesome opportunity. I'm also taking a sports studies minor where there's a lot of cool classes regarding a couple on like the history of sports. Like I took a history of baseball class. It was actually kind of interesting. But you're also taking a lot of, like Reagan touched on, marketing, management classes on top of the regular PGA classes. So you're getting a pretty wide variety.
And I'll just add to that too. So I teach 2 PGA courses now. One is a class where we actually put a business plan together around a fictional private club. So you are getting that business experience. We look at the financials of that club and diving into where the club is doing well, where they might be struggling as well. And then currently I'm teaching seniors, and we're actually going through supervising and delegating. So we have older students that are starting to now learn how to go from an intern to managing employees, because that's going to be part of their world. Even if they're not necessarily diving into green grass right away, they're going to eventually be in the point where they're managing employees and where they're leading a team. So something that we've had a lot of fun with, and we're actually about to dive into food and beverage operations after that. Also utilizing our alumni network to help us with that part. So we're very excited about that. Next question, how big is oh, go ahead, Dylan. Yep.
I just wanted to touch on something. Mitchell actually was one of my professors freshman year for our intro PGA class. And he's, like he said, he's currently my professor for our facility management level 3, where we're doing supervising and delegating. So it's actually kind of cool. You get to have Mitchell and Eric and Brian and Dan as your professors in PGA class for the whole 4 years. So they get to know you really well freshman year, and by senior year, they just know you on a more of a personal level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And one of the most exciting parts for me about my job is seeing our students become alumni, and then eventually picking up the phone and calling them to see if they need interns someday. So that's what I'm really excited about, and definitely look forward to making those phone calls here pretty soon, especially with this group that is on the call tonight. All right, so how big is the program? So right now we have 153 students in the program. Incoming classes, we're about 50 to 60-ish. So we may be a little bit larger than that, but that said, I think everybody gets to know everybody pretty quickly in their cohort. So it's definitely has that small school feel in a big university. I'll let maybe Nate and Reagan touch on this a little bit more, since I know they're a little bit younger, so they've had bigger classes. But how well have you all gotten to know your cohort, and what's that been like with regard to when you first came into the program?
Yeah, I've been able to get to know everyone really well. Kind of going back to a previous point, I lived in the living learning community last year. So I lived on a floor with about 30 other guys in the PGM program, and now I still live with 5 of them. So from day one, I was able to get to know everyone, and then you have classes with everyone, you're playing golf, you see everyone. So you really get to know everyone on a pretty personal level, and then you'll go on internship with people and these class trips, and you really just form lifelong bonds with some people that you would have never met previously.
Yeah, I was not a part of the Living Learning community, but I am fortunate to live with two other girls in our program, and they're truly my best friends. I don't know if I could get through the PGM without them. And for like the entire cohort itself, you do definitely get really close in your classes, especially because you have one class in the fall semester with them and one in the spring semester as well. So you just get to learn like so much from everybody, and definitely when you in the GTRC playing rounds or going out to the course or going to the driving range together, you get really close, and it's a very like I'm very grateful to be able to do that.
Awesome. I love that. David, so I see your question here. What can I be doing in high school to make myself a strong candidate for admission? So I think there's really two parts to that. So one is continuing to do well in school academically. The second part, though, is playing a lot of golf. I think the more you can play in high school, the better prepared you'll be when it comes to making the most out of the experience. So I think if you are really working on your game, continuing to play in Philly PGA Junior Tour events, as well as staying strong with academics and staying up to date with your schoolwork, then I think that's the best advice I can give with regard to being a strong candidate. So I'll actually maybe have one student, one alum, just share a little bit more, maybe from the student side. What do you think the thing was that helped prepare you the most for coming into the program? And from the alumni side, what you would recommend coming into the program that makes you ready for it, and then makes you ready for those internship experiences.
Sure.
I can.
Oh, go
Joe,
ahead.
you want to go?
Go ahead. No, Nate, it's you, man.
I would just say, obviously playing golf, you want to be proficient at playing golf. That's a big part of this industry. But really just any experience in the golf setting, whether that's caddying, working the bag room, kind of just getting your foot in the door somewhere and kind of figuring out what this industry is really like is super beneficial. It's really going to set you up well for your first internship, so you kind of know what you're getting into, and I kind of have a foot above some other PGM students. So yeah, really just try to get involved in a golf course. There's a ton in the Philadelphia area, a lot of Penn State alums in the area who would be willing to help out as well. So I'd say just try to get some experience.
I'll take a little different approach. I think it's having any type of experience. I did the summer session before my freshman year, and living on your own with some friends and being open to meeting some people or introduced to some people early on was really good. And the same thing when you go on internships or into your career path, you're with people that have like-minded interests and are doing the same thing. And it's always a little awkward for everyone, but doing things on your own without being at your home or current residence is something that you can't always prepare for, but be open-minded and learn from those who have done it with good best practices of how do you succeed living on your own. And I think the PGM program is a good staple of having this 200 or so little group inside of a 40,000 person campus. And then when you go to a club, it's even more intimate. So I think preparing for that, being open-minded and utilizing the network of people you have to help you with that is a neat challenge.
Yeah, I mean, just to hit on what Joe said, obviously putting yourself out there and putting yourself in a more difficult situation and challenging yourself is really important. I was supposed to do summer session, but I ended up working at a golf course pre-Penn State, and it gave me a better sense of what I wanted to do with PGM because I had a little bit of background, whether it's caddying or working outside at a golf club. So any sort of exposure that you can get, it may help tailor your sort of pathway within golf. You may say, okay, I worked at a private club. That was really fun, but maybe I want to go more the teaching route. So my internships, because I've already worked at a private facility, maybe I want to go work at a golf school or, an instructional academy. So it may be able to help guide your path through your internships.
Awesome. Yeah, love that question, David. So thank you for thinking of that. Did we answer that for you? Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, Eli, are there any specific classes I should take in high school to prep for PGM? Great question. I don't know that there's anything necessarily specific. I would say if you are really thinking about the program though, definitely reach out to us ahead of time if you plan to take any AP courses, because we can check with our academic advisor just to see if there's anything that would line up with regard to what you would take at Penn State. So maybe that would help with taking the load off a little bit once you got to Penn State. So I might have some of our students dive in as well. Maybe one or two students share what maybe the most helpful class for you in high school was before you came to Penn State, or if there's anything that would have helped you when it came to first starting in the program, and looking out for that when it comes to what you select in high school.
Yeah, along with what you said about like taking AP courses, I was able to test out of a lot of like gen ed classes at Penn State, which helped me find other classes that I would like to do, or just like get a head start on some of the meal business certificate classes. So definitely researching like which ones that your school has and which ones like when you take the AP test, which ones they will accept at Penn State, just because that's a really cool opportunity and just gave me a little bit of a head start. And then also I took some business like centered classes at my school, like they had marketing and other classes like that. So it just gave me a little bit of an idea of like what I wanted to get into with that field.
Awesome. Yeah, any other insights there? Anything else that I maybe would have missed?
It's kind of a goofy one, but some students struggle with the stat courses in PGM, and I can say that I didn't see it as difficult as some of my classmates because I took stat in high school. So I appreciate Mrs. McDonough in high school for helping me out. So yeah, if you haven't taken stat already, go ahead.
I'll double down on stat. I transferred mine from high school and couldn't be happier. So
As someone who had to take stat twice in PGM, I also would say if you can get that done earlier, it would be helpful. And also, I mean, I'm obviously a little bit older, but any sort of accounting classes, that is a huge focus and will just serve you well in life. But if there's anything that you have in high school that could be any sort of business accounting, it would be incredibly helpful.
Counting 211, I had to study very, very hard. That test.
Yes, I would definitely echo the stats part, because I know even when I graduated from Clemson back in 2013, if I took a stats class, I think before I went to Clemson, that would have made a difference. So I would definitely echo that. If that is something at your high school that's an option, that definitely would be worth exploring to help you prepare. So great question though, Eli. I love the question where it came to prep and kind of thinking about PGM and that next step. So any other questions? Awesome. Well, I'll leave my email in the chat. Oh, do we have one more? No, I don't see one more. Okay. I'll leave my email in the chat for families just in case they want to plan a visit. So we typically do our family visit days on Fridays. So feel free just to shoot me a note if you're interested. I think that's the best way to truly see the program in action. You'll get to meet other prospective families. You also get to see our Golf Teaching Research Center and really see how busy and active it is. Students and alumni, if you all want to post your contact info in the chat, you're certainly welcome to. Don't feel any pressure, but feel free to post your info there. I'm sure any of them would be happy to help when it comes to answering any questions you might have, or just finding out more information about the program as a whole. But we certainly thank you all so much for your time. We look forward to all of you having a great season. I think David said Philly Junior Tour starts, I believe, this weekend. So super exciting that that's getting off the ground.
Trying to stay dry this weekend.
So stay warm, enjoy the experience. David, is there anything else that you'd want to add before we sign off?
No, not at the moment. Great turnout with questions and stuff, and I think that helped everyone get an insight and stuff. And yeah, look forward to going into the new season here. Thank you all.
Well, thank you all. Feel free to reach out with any questions. I'm happy to answer those the best way we can. Best luck with the rest of high school and with Philly PGA Junior Tour.